Hey, insight number 4. We're going to go to verses 22 to 24 of section 50. But before we get there, I just wanted to point out two things. Actually 3 things. 14 says, preach my gospel by the Spirit, even the Comforter. So if you're going to teach by the Holy Ghost. Teach things that are gospel. And if you're going to say, it's my opinion, then preface it with, it's my opinion. If you're going to teach something that is your opinion, say this is your opinion. Like, I do this is the insights. Some of it is factual and you can read that, and others is like, this is what I think, and we preface it with that. But teach by the Holy Ghost, which is what I endeavor to do here. I feel like I do. I hope that comes across. Seek personal revelation. This is in 16. It says, behold, you shall answer this question yourselves. And that's what it's in the last one. If you've got a question about something like these people did around spiritual manifestations and visions, he's like, you can answer this yourself. You don't need to come to me with every little thing. You can answer this yourself. It's like, yes, we can still counsel with him and still talk to him, but we can still, have these answers for ourselves. So some truck out there going on. And then in 19 through sort of 20, talking about how you receive it. And basically, if it's not taught by the Spirit, then it's just not helpful to you. It's not something that you're going to absorb and take on. It's not something that's great for your journey. So, it's really good if your Sunday school teachers, if your institute, your seminary teachers, your primary teachers, they're teaching by the Spirit, it's going to be helpful to you. They've thrown it together at the last minute. It might be a little fun, but it's really not going to stick. It might stick in a bad way. Yeah. Anyway, so 22 through 24. It says, wherefore he that preacheth and he that receiveth understand one another, and both are edified and rejoice together. This is talking about teach by the Holy Ghost, and whoever receives it gets edified. So the 3 key words are there: preach, receive, understand, and edify. Actually, there's 5. And then rejoice together. There's a lot of words in there that are good. Anyway. 23. And that which doth not edify is not of God, and is darkness. And then, like, one of my fave verses in the entire Doctrine and Covenants, and I've had a couple so far, but I've had 2 so far. This is probably the 3rd of my faith. Love this one. 24. That which is of God is light, and he that receiveth light and continueth in God receiveth more light, and that light groweth brighter and brighter until the perfect day. Now, if you've lived a life in darkness, or you've seen darkness, or had darkness overcome you and just feel terrible, and it could be literal darkness, it could be depression darkness, or something other kind of darkness. And we talked about Dispelling the Dark a couple of weeks ago. I don't know. Anyway, it was in there. I have talked about this before. This is a really good way to do it. Like, how do you know, especially when you're in a depressed place? And I will talk about it this way. If you're in a depressed place, you can't always tell what is good and what is not. And one of the ways to tell if it is good is if it edifies you. And you're like, what does edify mean? Because I had to look it up. It's not a word I was taught in school. Edify is to instruct or improve someone morally or intellectually. It's originally from the Latin, and I'm going to try and say this. I think it's edificare, meaning constructing a building, also strengthening, hence to build up morally. So does it edify? So you're thinking, well, how do I know if it's going to build me up morally? Because it can still be a little ambiguous. Is it really going to bring value to your life in a good way, in a happy way, in a light way, and just those kind of things? If there's anything about it that's not light, if there's anything about it that's not going to help you build yourself up, then it's not of God. So that can really help you, because it can get very, very smudgy and fuzzy when you're covered in the darkness of depression or a mental illness. Ask somebody else too, because if you can't see it clearly, ask someone else. I rely on a couple of good friends I have. I rely on Dave for that, because sometimes I really can't. I don't know. So yeah, you can do that too. If you've got trusted friends that you know are good, strong, gospel-centered, covenant-keeping friends, ask them, because that'll help you too. But yeah, does it edify? Is it good? Is it right? Is it of God? Ask yourself, does it edify? Does it improve morally or intellectually? Yeah. Does this thing build you up or deconstruct, pull you down? Things that edify are of God, they are of light. When searching for answers, don't pull apart what you do know. This is important. Don't pull apart what you do know. Build on a sure foundation instead. Asking is good. We're supposed to ask. Just choose to build, not destroy. Edify, don't deconstruct. So, a lot of people will say, oh, I want to understand that, I'm going to deconstruct it. Now, when it comes to cooking, by all means, deconstruct a taco, deconstruct a pavlova, and enjoy eating it. It's delicious. When it comes to values, beliefs, don't deconstruct them. Don't tear them down. Build them up. So you might be looking at the foundation and going, oh, it's a bit, wonky. You don't tear down the whole building. You fortify the foundation and you build the building up. That's what edifying is. So if there's something that you're worried about, I don't know, if it's edifying, if it's good and it's light, then it's of God. And if it's not, stay clear. Don't deconstruct, edify, build. It's very key. All right. Boyd K. Packer, he was a member of the Quorum of the 12. He said, I've had to evict some thoughts 100 times before they would stay out. I have never been successful until I have put something edifying in their place. And that is absolutely true, and I have felt that myself. So I will say this again because it's a very good quote. I will also put this up. As you know, you'll be able to see that. He said again, I've had to evict some thoughts 100 times before they would stay out. I have never been successful until I have put something edifying in their place. So thank you, President Packer, for that one. Long since passed away, good man. But if you're trying to take out a thought, especially again when you're depressed or covered in darkness or worry, and it could be again literal or mental, whatever, you've got to replace it with something edifying. So, this is where you go to your happy place. This is where you have good memories that you bring up. This is where you think of fields of flowers that you can run through. Whatever it is that you've got for you. Hopefully there's some suggestions. I can give you some suggestions if you want. If you want to know some edifying thoughts, happily I will supply them. But they're going to be different for you than they are for me. One of the big ones I have is my testimony of Jesus Christ. That is a very edifying thought, and I can cling to the rock of my Redeemer, of our Redeemer, in solid foundation because I edify and I build up. I don't tear down. Okay, that's insight number 4. And I'll see you soon for the last one for this week, number 5. See you in a bit.